College is named after Franklin W. Olin, an engineer, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and Major League Baseball player whose life was transformed by education. Mr. Olin was born in 1860 in a rough-and-tumble Vermont lumber camp where his father built water wheels, mills, and dams. After reading about the day's leading technology, steam power, he decided to become an engineer. Lacking a high school diploma, he qualified through self-study for entrance to Cornell University, where he majored in civil engineering and was captain of the baseball team. He drilled his team constantly and introduced the indoor batting cage into college baseball, making his team so unbeatable that his competitors begged Cornell to drop out of the league. He also played Major League Baseball in the summers in the Old American Association. His graduation from Cornell in 1886 launched a successful career as a business leader and entrepreneur. Through a focus on innovation and product quality, Mr. Olin grew a single gunpowder mill, built in 1892, into a diversified, industry-leading enterprise known today as the Olin Corporation. In 1938, Mr. Olin used his great personal wealth to create a private philanthropic foundation that would become a major force in higher education. During Mr. Olin's lifetime, foundation giving focused on his private philanthropic interests, especially the economic empowerment of disadvantaged groups. After his death in 1951, the foundation's directors gave it the unique charitable profile of providing building grants for higher education. In the years since its founding, the F.W. Olin Foundation funded 77 buildings on 58 college campuses. In 1997, the Foundation's trustees announced the most ambitious project in Foundation history. They committed some $400 million, one of the largest gifts in the history of American higher education, to the building of a new engineering college. Their intention was to spark a revolution in engineering education that would help the nation retain its technological leadership. The new college would construct a state-of-the-art campus, attract top students and faculty, and create an innovative, hands-on curriculum.
In our research on whether it made any sense to establish a new engineering college, we found that there was a lot of unhappiness with the way engineering education was being delivered. The National Science Foundation and others had spent lots of money trying to reform engineering education. We saw this as an opportunity, being able to work from a blank slate with a new college, and that's basically why the college was established, was to, in effect, develop a new paradigm for engineering education.
The mission of Olin College is to attract and identify America's brightest and most enterprising students and to engage them in an engineering education here at modest cost. We expect to provide a superb engineering education with exposure to entrepreneurial thinking and with innovation, creativity in the arts. The core values are really central to the culture that Olin has built. We set out to try to develop a vision of the ideal environment, the goals that we would like to set for the environment that we'd like to create, and hope that that would attract the people who just resonate with those ideals. Frankly, it's been, I think, more successful than we expected. The ideals themselves are not perfect, and in fact, they're not even unique. Many of these concepts are very common. Things like integrity and respect for others, I think, are almost on every campus that I've seen. But as you think deeply about them, even the order in which we consider them, so that integrity is number one, and respect for others is number two. There are messages there which help guide your thinking. Olin College is kind of a missionary place, not in a religious sense. It's out to try to reform engineering education in the U.S. and possibly to some extent around the world. We feel that this is important, and lots of people are spending their careers trying to deal with this in other colleges and universities, but we have a unique opportunity with a new institution.
I'm Allison Black. I'm Assistant Dean of Student Life in the Office of Student Life at Olin College of Engineering. My typical day, I'm usually spending a fair amount of time talking with students one-on-one just about things that might be going on with them, issues that they're having. I work pretty closely with the R2s, who are our live-in student residential life staff. And I communicate a lot with students over email. That's just the way things are these days, and I'll often be troubleshooting or responding to student questions on email a lot. My hobbies are pretty varied, but they often revolve around something physical, like I'm a runner. I've run 6 marathons. I'm about to run my 7th marathon. I've run 2 of the Boston marathons, which has been really nice because the Boston Marathon course runs about 1.5 miles from campus. So both of the times I've run the Boston Marathon, I've had Olin community members cheering me on along the way, which was really nice. I think one of the main differences about the Olin environment compared to other institutions where I've worked is that I feel like it's a much stronger community in terms of the interaction between faculty, staff, and students. I don't feel as much of a division between those constituents. I feel more included. I feel more respected as a staff member, that I'm not just a staff member, that I'm a really important part of this community. And I feel that that holds true for all members of this community, from the custodians, all the way up to President Miller.
I love the students here. They're delightful to work with. They are really bright, but they're not just bright, they're really energetic and willing to take risks and willing to have fun. And so teaching them and working with them is just a joy. But it's not just the students that I think are special at Olin. I also find my colleagues and the faculty and staff at Olin are a really special group of people. And it's not so much just the individuals, although there are some really exceptional individuals at Olin. It's also is this sort of sense of community that we're all together engaged in a mission that we share and with a sort of set of values that we share. How I think about writing a course description at Olin is maybe a good example of what I think student-centered means in this context. Because traditionally when you write a course description, you might write something like lectures in this course cover important fundamental topics in thermodynamics, such as first law and second law and so on and so forth. When I write a course description at Olin, I think instead about what it is that I want students to be able to do at the end of the course, and I think about what kinds of activities might allow those students to achieve that.
I'm Susan Johansson, and I work in the Office of Admission at the Franklin W. Olin College of Engineering. The students are a very big part of what makes my job really satisfying, but I also have wonderful friends here. I enjoy my work very much. I like my job, but if it weren't for the great people that I work with, it would not be the same. As we continue to grow and as we do have more and more students, that focus remains, that the students are so much a part of what goes on here at Olin. Not just that we are here because of them, but that they continue to be part of the school in their activities and their concerns in the way that the school evolves. So they're included in committees, their opinions are sought always in terms of policy, in terms of decision making.
What we're really known for is the people that come from Olin. And we're seeing it in capital letters everywhere you look. It's what our students are doing, and it's the impact that they're having everywhere they go that comes back to us. And that's really what Olin's reputation is built around. So all of us have a role, and I guess from my vantage point, what it means to be student-centered is that when you have a difficult choice to make, and there are many different aspects of that choice, it will affect this group in one way and another group in another way. How do you make the prioritization? Well, the question which has always helped me is to ask the question, well, how will this open doors for our students?